of Taterized Sass Mouth, and today I'm making a mixed media note card to go into a mailer box on a commission project that I just finished. So right now I've got a strip of mixed media card stock that I created a little bit earlier in the week, and I punched 2 holes into the side and folded the card. And now I'm just doing some extra mark making. Now I'm using some of my gelato that I have to add a little bit more pops of color. I'm smudging it in places, some places I'm not. Just adding that little extra hint of color, a little messy color. On the inside, I'm leaving some that I'm not going to smudge, and in other places, like right here, I'm going to smudge it just to give a little bit more of that organic feel on that pops of color. And that's probably all of the gelato mark making that I'm going to be doing here. Now I'm coming in with a little bit of HB pencil and doing a little more scribbly mark making, just kind of being intuitive about it. Really no rhyme or reason, just making little scribbles to add some visual interest to tie into the whole card spread there both on the inside and out. Now I'm taking some leftover masking tape from a paint project, and I'm going to be ripping this, and first I've got to unstick it because it is a messy ball of tape that it's all stuck on itself. So here I'm tearing it up, and I'm just placing bits and pieces on the front of the card and then on the back of the card, just tearing these little tape giblets and placing, just really randomly onto the card. And so I'm doing this on the outside and on the inside of this card. Now I'm getting my notebook of words, phrases, quotes, and letters that I keep for mixed media art. And in this notebook is just words, letters, phrases, quotes, all different types of pieces that I cut out of magazines or books or the newspaper, or wherever I find words of interest, I stick it in this book, which seems kind of counterintuitive that I'm cutting it out and I should just keep it in a bag or envelope. But normally when I do that, I can't find the words that I want or I'm looking for, and I feel like if I just kind of glue them down onto this notebook page, that I can just kind of quickly flip through and find the words or letters that I need for a project. And I usually just can clip them out with scissors, or also because I haven't glued them down very securely, I can also typically just peel those up. Obviously this is a new notebook with lots of new words. I haven't filled up this notebook completely yet, but I have a basket full of other words and things that I typically look for, but I knew what I was looking for this was in this notebook. And so you're seeing me pick out the words or the phrase, "You're the best," because the recipient of this card is the best. And I just wanted to let her know by decorating this card with that phrase, "You're the best." So here I saw that one of my pieces of tape was bubbling up, so I went to go get my stapler so that I could just staple down one of those tape pieces also it adds something kind of fun to the card. So that's what I did. And now I went to go get a piece of paper to put on the inside of the card. I don't want to write on the inside of the card because I want this card to be reusable, so that if she decides to use it in a piece of art or another art project later, she can just peel out this paper on the inside and reuse the card for something else, or to give to somebody else, or whatever she wants to do with it. That's totally up to her, but I wanted her to be able to recycle this card. And so I'm trying to figure out whether I want to do notebook paper, but I've decided I'm getting a piece of wax paper because I really liked the inside of this card with the scribbles and the paint and just how it looked. And I thought, how cool would it be if I actually wrote the message that I want to write to her on this wax paper, and then that way you can see through and see the background. I thought that would be really cute. And then obviously she can peel the wax paper up and reuse this card. So I'm just trying to now position this wax paper and I crumble it up because I want that texture. I want it to look rough. All about the texture, y'all. So now I'm just going to take and peel off the excess of this wax paper that's not going to fit in the card. So that way I can just tape it down into the inside of the card. So that's what you're seeing me doing right now, is tearing off this excess. And obviously that crumpled up excess of wax paper will be put in my giblet bag and reused for another project later on. So tearing off this, and now I'm about to go grab my masking tape and tape down this wax paper on the inside. See how you can see the inside of the on the inside of here on this card, you can see the background and how that looks. So now I'm going to just tear off this masking tape into little bits and tape down the edges onto the inside of this card. So now that I've got my masking tape on, I'm going to take and fold this card, and y'all are about to see me do a little bit of fussy taping with this card and this crease. Obviously the wax paper and the tape is just trying to do a resist where it's just trying to bubble up where that crease is. So I'm just going to put down some more tape and then fold it over onto the front. Obviously that's just going to give more visual interest on the front and on the inside, but that's going to also address that crease cut there with that tape, just to add just a little bit more stability in that crease with that tape. And there on that top piece, some of the paper that I had on that mixed media card stock on that front kind of overlaid to the top, and I really liked it, and I didn't want the tape to cover that up, so I just kind of did a messy tape job on the top, which adds more texture. So I love that. We're all about that. So now I'm just kind of showing y'all how that's going to look, where I'm going to write the message onto that wax paper. So I'm keep fussing with that fold and that tape just to make sure that that's going to stick and that's going to work. So now I'm going to grab my phrase words, "You're the best," and start gluing that down. So I'm getting my glue stick and just laying down some glue I think you're going to see me fussing with it a little bit because my fingers get sticky from the glue, and obviously the words are going to try to stick to my fingers. Y'all, this happens all the time. It's alright. I don't care. But it's always good for a laugh. But you'll probably see me fussing with this a little bit. Also fussing with the word placement. Trying to decide how I want to do it. There's a little excess that's overlapping on that hole punch. Obviously that little giblet I'm going to use. I'm going to add that back in. So I'm just gluing my words down. I think the best pops back up. One of the words pops back up, and I just glue that back down. Yeah, I'm just fussing with it. Gluing on this little giblet. That does pop off, and I end up gluing it back down again later. But gotta glue on that giblet. Can't be wasting giblets. So now I'm going to do a little bit more mark making with this marker. This marker is a wet or dry marker, and I love it. I actually picked it up at, I think, either Home Depot or Lowe's in the lumber section. Yeah, I find my art supplies everywhere. But I love this marker just because I can use it when the paint's still wet, or glue or anything like that, wet or dry. I can use it. It is a little bit old, so it's starting to fade, which honestly I like it. It's missing, it's starting to get faded, drying out a little bit, but I actually love that because it gives more interest to the piece when I use it. So, see, my fingers are sticky, so that piece comes back up and it keeps sticking on my finger, but I'm gonna get it down. We're gonna get that little piece down. That's always fun. That's always funny. So now I'm grabbing these miniature playing cards for Mixed Media, and also some little baker's twine, some red and white striped baker's twine, so that we can do this closure. I think I'm also grabbing some t-shirt thread that I have made a long time ago, and I feel like, yeah, I'm grabbing that, and I'm just gonna kind of stretch it out, make it a little bit skinnier. I'm considering wrapping that twine with that t-shirt thread, but first I want to look through these playing cards because I want to see if I can find the Queen of Hearts, because the recipient is a total queen and I just want to add this to her card. And I'm looking through. I know this playing deck, I've actually used several of the cards in here before, so I might not have the Queen of Hearts, so I'm looking through for it. I did find a queen, so I'm just pulling all the queen cards to see if what I have still available in this deck. And I don't think I ever find it. Instead, I find the Queen of Diamonds, which that works because I just want that pop of red on that. And I end up putting that Queen of Spades back into the deck and putting this little miniature deck up. I'm trying to remember, y'all, where I got this little miniature deck. Let me think for a minute. I think I got them off the website of Retro Cafe Art Gallery, or even older from Sky Blue Pink website, which I don't even think they're in business anymore, which is sad because they had so much great materials and supplies for Mixed Media, and I really hate it when little small businesses like that phase out or go out of business. It's kind of sad. But anyway, I really think I might have got it from Retro Cafe. They're really great too and have a lot of great supplies as well. So now I'm just kind of making some little outlines around these words with that HB pencil, and I decide that it's just not popping enough, so I end up getting my marker back out and doing outlines over those words. But first I'm just kind of looking over the card and seeing kind kind of what I want to do, what the vibe I'm feeling off of it is, and what I want to do next with it. First, I get my jelly roll pen and decide to do some outlines on around these words, and it's still not popping for me. And so this is where I'm getting my marker out and, doing the outline here over these words. Now I decide to get my jelly roll pen back out and do some mark making on that little playing card. And after I do this, I decide that it is the worst mistake ever, or I should say the worst decision ever. And I decide that I absolutely hate that. And I end up getting out my gesso and putting down some gesso to kind of erase those little marks that I made around the playing card. And this actually ended up being a blessing in disguise, because it ends up making this playing card really pop out and stand out more than I anticipated it being. So this was actually a good mistake, so to speak, because it just really enhanced what I was wanting to do with that playing card. I'm adding some gesso along the word best, because I had kind of made some wobbly lines and those were bugging me, so I just popped on some gesso there. And then I'm going to grab my marker again and just add that outline back in around that word a little bit straighter this time. I don't mind wobbly lines, I usually love them, but for some reason that one was just kind of bugging me, and I just wanted to make another attempt at it. There I was deciding whether I should outline that card or not, but I kind of liked how that gesso worked out with it, and now I'm just trying to dry that, let that gesso dry a little bit. And here I'm just deciding what step I want to do next. So I decide I'm going to fuss with this tie closure with that t-shirt yarn and then that baker's twine. And I'm deciding I'm going to probably do a just a loop through, not so much tie it, but loop it through those punched holes there. And so I'm going to take and knot the ends and kind of loosely wrap the baker's twine around the t-shirt yarn. But first I've got to measure and cut this to size, and I've got to go find my scissors, and I've got those, and I end up slinging that piece of paper in the way. now I am taking and looping this twine yarn into the hole punch of my card and just seeing how this looks once I've got it looped through. Pulling that there. And I'm not really liking how that's looking with that t-shirt yarn, so I'm gonna take and pull this back apart, and I'm gonna take the knots out on the ends and basically remove the t-shirt yarn from the baker's twine. And in the end, I think I'm just gonna use the baker's twine and not so much that t-shirt yarn. I just felt like it was too much. Yeah, it just added too much onto that card. That black was too much against all that color, and I just liked the red only width instead of that t-shirt yarn. So I'm just gonna keep on sitting here and fussing with this thread and this twine a little bit, and yeah, trying to decide if that's the look I want to go for, which I decided it is. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna go get my gel medium, which I do, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that over the front cover of this card, just to make sure all my words and those giblets are gonna stay stuck down. I go dry it right quick, and then I go get my marker and I start working on my little personalized note on the inside, and get that written out so y'all can see what that looks like with that wax paper overlay. The marker that I'm using on that wax paper is a Sharpie wet or dry marker. Again, I picked this one up at, I think at Lowe's. It's a brand new one, and I love it because it's going to go down really well on that wax paper. I do have to let it dry a little bit though, because it is a little bit tacky and I didn't want to smudge it, but I think it turned out good, and I think it looks great. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. I'm going to include some photos at the end to show y'all a little bit more up close details of how this turned out. I think it turned out beautifully. I think it's perfect for the end of this project. I'm obviously looping my twine back through, but anyway, I just want to say thank y'all so much for watching. I truly do appreciate everyone that watches this video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I would think the world of it if you did that. I truly love it when y'all do. Thanks again for watching. And come join me over on Instagram at tatereyes.sassmouth. We have a good time over there, so come join me. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.